Alright, it is time for another game. Apparently this is just something that we're going to be saying every single time. But that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, no pair. Alright. We probably don't need the white. You could keep it, but whatever, we're just going to play for Ricci, so we're just going to go ahead and get rid of these guys. Doesn't really matter which one you drop between the north and the white, I think. But white helps you open more, and north is a little better for the closed hand. Anyways, we are 2 away from Taiyao. We will... Okay then. That is a really good draw. We will Ricci. As we're cheating this, now that we've drawn the 4, I'm not as... how do I say it? I'm not as excited to chi because it does drop our hand from, 300 to 2. But, we can still do it. Okay, now we're at 7 pairs each on 10. Sure, I guess we'll take it. So we can draw the 8, the 7, the 5, 5, 6, and also the Kanjan 6 and the 4, 7 in order to get into tenpai. That was a miss, but that's totally fine. I don't think dropping the 9 was a mistake there. And now the question is, well, okay, we've got all these middle tiles, and what if someone's going to call Ricci pretty soon? It's already turn 8 to 9. We might want to prepare for that. Well, okay, what we're going to do to prepare for that is we're going to call. Yes, we're going to call in order to get tenpai, because that way we can fight against the Ricci. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, but we gotta do it. I think it's already turn 10, so we're just going to go ahead and take our tenpai. It's 1 han now. But this way, we don't know if we're gonna get tenpai anytime soon. So, I think it was okay to take the chi in order to just prevent myself from dealing in, prevent myself from, having to fight against some weird Ricci. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. We got, no pair. Okay. This time we're keeping the double east. Again, it don't really matter which one you drop out of the honors, I think, because most of the time you're going to be dropping them both anyways. Yep, there we go. Now the question is, do you actually... I don't think we actually need this 2. Because we already have 5 blocks, and, well, even if we draw the 3, we're Ishan 10, right? 2 isn't really doing much. Here's Ishan 10. Definitely keeping the door around. If we draw around, for example, the 7, we can just go ahead and drop the 4, 5, and take the door acceptance. Also, if we pair up the door, we can drop the 9s, and then take Taiyao. It's pretty good all around. As for whether we keep a pair up in one of these... Okay, there we go. Gonna drop the 9s, take Taiyao, we can call. I was gonna say, I'm not sure if we were going to take the pair up if we paired up the 6, 7 or the 4, 5 over here. Just because it means we would have to drop the Dora. I think we're gonna drop the 9 here. The one looks a little safer. But, well... Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and drop the 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 4, 8, 4, 5 over here. Here, we're just gonna go ahead and drop the 1. West looks a lot safer than the 1, although, looking at it now, the 1 does look very, very safe as well. Either way, now we are Anko headless, which means we can, once we pair up the 6, 7 or the 4, 5, we can take tenpai as well, which is very, very strong. That being said, once we chi, we're going to have to drop the 8 in order to get a good weight tenpai. So it's a little scary, but this hand is well worth it. The risk, that is. Chi. I think it's time to take tenpai. Again, it's getting pretty late, so I think this is fine. You could pass it because we have pretty high acceptance, but whatever. When in doubt, just take the tenpai, Usually there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, we dropped from, what's it called? we dropped from 400 to 3, which is a really big drop. But, you know, it's better to win than to lose, right? We got an extra stick for our troubles. Or for their troubles, actually. We didn't have to do anything to take that stick. Okay, next hand. This one is a lot worse. We don't have any good blocks. We're just gonna go ahead and drop the 9 and pretend to go for Honitsu. We only have 3 blocks in the flesh form at this point, but we don't have a lot of blocks anywhere, anyways. So you know we might as well keep an eye out for it. Here I'm not sure what exactly to do, but you could probably just go ahead and drop the 9s, to be honest, and just say, you know, whatever. If one of these guys pairs up, well, if the green pairs up, we can get a Yaku, and that's groovy. And that's 5 blocks, again, right? We already have enough blocks. There's 1 block in the Pinzu, 2 blocks in the Sozu, 1 honor pair, and if we pair up to the green, that's 5 blocks. So, like, even if we drop the 9s over here, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, now that we've drawn the door, we are, like, slightly more excited about this hand, but, again, it's not very good. Slightly more excited does not make this hand very good at all. But we're going to play normally. Okay. This one's interesting. We're going to go ahead and drop the 2. Number 1, there's 2 3s out. Number 2, if we draw around the 2, we might be able to start calling for Itsu. So this 2 seems quite a bit more valuable than that 2-man. Okay. I think at this point... what do we do, actually? I want to take the 2 pairs, but to be honest, since this hand is really not happening unless we open, just because we have so many bad shapes, I think we're gonna keep the 2 over the 9 still, and say, you know, if we do draw the 1, we can start calling, and that'd be amazing. However, there's only 2 1s left at this point, which makes that plan rather unlikely. But it's okay. At this point, we should probably start thinking about defending. It's already turn 9, turn 8, and our acceptance is dwindling by the moment. So yeah, this hand is really not happening anymore, it seems. Unless we pair up the green, there's really no way for us to move forward. And so, okay, here's the Riichi. We're just gonna go ahead and full-on fold, right? That being said, we are in Ishanten. So if we draw into tenpai, like if we draw this episode into tenpai, I guess we could Riichi. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, actually. The 3 is safe. We didn't get into tenpai, so it's time to get out of here. What's the best way to get out of here? I'm not sure, so we're just gonna drop a 100 in the safe tile, and it'll be groovy. 9 should be pretty safe as well. The Dora passes. Yeah, we really don't have a problem here. When in an emergency, we can go ahead and drop the honor pair as well. I'm not sure if that was the best discard. I'm not really paying attention to their discards anymore. I should probably do that. Well, whatever. Yeah. That Delian's over there. Makes kind of sense. It is there. Yeah, okay. But being able to survive this round with just a horizontal movement of 1,000 points is really, really nice. Now we get to move on to East 2 in first place. And we got 1, 2, 3. 3 blocks. We got a Dora, which can pair up to get a really expensive hand. And now the question is, well, what do you do? When in doubt, just drop the honor. When in doubt, drop the honor. It's fine. Yep. Easy peasy. Because we need blocks still. That being said, you could consider dropping a 9 here because right now, yes, we have 4 blocks only, but even if we draw around the 9, well, I'm not sure if we really want to keep it because there's this Dora floater which we really want to use. It's like a virtual 5th block already. Because I don't think we really are that excited to play this hand without having the Dora And that being said, we are 2 away from tenpai. So if we do draw the penchants and get a good weight, well, that would be perfectly fine as well. Taiyao is potentially possible as well, right? If we draw around the 5, and then we do something around here that turns this into not Taiyao, I'm sorry, that turns this into Taiyao, then we'd be able to, well, get Taiyao. Easy peasy. That being said, there is a... What do we do here? This is a bit of a problem. Because, okay, yes, we're dropping the east, right? That means we're Ishanten. But our Ishanten is really bad because it's 2 penchants, right? And the problem with that is that, okay, if someone reaches, we definitely need to fold. But there's nothing to fold with. And so dropping that east seems a little sus. I feel like maybe dropping the penchant over here was a better play. Instead of dropping the east. Here, that's 2 falls. And they've got a pretty big discard pool. That's how they would say it in Japanese. They've got a lot of middle tiles. That's what it means. So we kind of need to be careful here. I guess we might as well drop the 2, and if we draw the 3 so to get into tenpai, we can just Dama on the 4-7 weight. Or, I don't know, do something, I guess. Here the 7's passed, so we'll go ahead and match the 7's. Basically folding at this point. If we can somehow get into, you know, a safe tenpai, you know, that'd be nice. But I don't think there's any reason to discard anything that hasn't passed the person who is called 2 dragons. Especially considering we are in, well, we are in first place, right? And we don't have that big of a reason to risk. 6 passed, so we'll drop it. Gets cheat from the dealer. Drops the 2. Unsure how fast they are, just because they have so few middle tiles in their discard. One is a little sus. I don't like it. Whatever. Well, we're not dropping the 1 yet, even though we see all 4 of the 2s, just because it's possible someone has a pair of them, and, well, if that someone is the player across, well, we're a little bit, you know, and they're waiting on the 1, that'd be a little bad. And again, like we said earlier, we are in first place, so we have the leeway to do this defensive play. Is that getting cheap? Nope. Again, we don't really know how expensive they are, but, you know, since we have the chance to spare, and, you know, our hand wasn't that great anyways, I don't think there was a reason for us to take the risk. There's a pair drop from, oh, is that Daisangen? Not Daisangen, but it still is mangan, so pretty strong. Alright, very well. We've got a bit of a rival in the player across now, because they're only 3,000 points away from us, right? So if possible, we would definitely like to win this hand and get first place going to all last. We got a Yakai pair, but no pair elsewhere. Need to find one in order to make this a hand. I think we're gonna go ahead and drop the 8. I think I'm valuing the pair up of a second Yakuhai so that we can, you know, start calling with no worry for our Yaku. Here we're dropping the once cut west over the nuts cut dragons. We are going to pawn this. And you might be wondering, where's your Yaku? I'm sorry, where's your pair? We're not sure where that is yet, but we'll find one somewhere. There's a pair of 4s, but it's likely that it's going to turn into a sequence kind of shape. So I'm not really counting that as a pair just yet. Okay. Here, I think it's time to drop one of these numbers, maybe. Is that true? I don't think that's true. you're just saying that you want to win this hand in order to prevent the dealer from, or in order to confirm your first place. Okay, fine. We're gonna keep all the numbers and try to win. Sweet. That's what I like to see. Here, I think it's time to drop a 6, or is it a 7? I think we're gonna drop the 7, because we already have a pair over here, and if we draw around the 6, we can upgrade our bad weight over here. Now that we have no bad weights, we don't need the 6 anymore. We're just gonna go ahead and drop the 2. We're gonna replace the 2 with a relatively safe tile if we can. Yep, that's a pretty relatively safe tile, if I say so myself. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the 2 before anyone calls Ricci, so that once someone does call Ricci, we can push into tenpai, or we can push our tenpai with a safe tile instead of with a dangerous tile, right? Here we don't really need the Dora. I mean, it would be nice if we could use it, but we don't really need it. Because, you know, once we win, we're going to be in first place going to all last, which is, you know, it's pretty strong, even without much value to our name. Okay, there is 1,000. First place going to all last. And we're just going to try and take it home. All we need to do is win. So, we'll see if we can do that. Not looking so hot, but we don't actually need to win this hand, right? Because even if one of these guys wins, as long as they're not the dealer, or as long as it's not second place overtaking me, well, you know, there's a pretty good chance that we can just take first place regardless. If there's a way for us to feed our player to our left, that'd be really nice. I mean, not to the left, player to the right. That'd be really nice, just to help them, you know, win, maybe. The problem with that is that they do have a bit of a points condition, and it's unclear that they would want to call in order to, you know, decrease their point values, because maybe that would make them no longer fulfill their point conditions in order to get out of last place. Right, if they were like 1,000 points away from... Do we cheat this? I think we do. We're just gonna drop the 3. Yeah, if they were 1,000 points away from the dealer, then they would definitely want to cheat a lot more, because they don't need any more points. Do we drop the East here? I feel like we could, but we're just gonna drop the 5, I think. Whatever. We can palm the 8s and 9s pretty easily. And of course, the South is also pretty easily pawnable, probably, maybe. Right, the benefit of the 5 would be drawing one of these guys. But the thing is, if we draw a 2-sided weight over here, we're gonna have to drop one of these pairs, and then we would no longer be able to pawn for tenpai. So, you know, it's not as beneficial as it looks, although it definitely is pretty nice in order to... It is pretty nice to get a good weight, regardless. Here, actually if we draw the Dora, we are in tenpai technically. And if we draw the 9, so we would also have a Yaku in Chanta, which is kind of funny. I don't really expect that's going to happen, but, you know, it's something to look out for. Here we go. That is tenpai waiting on South. We will definitely push this hand. Well, there's no threat on the board in the first place, first of all. So, you know, it's not really pushing, we're just taking tenpai. But if a threat does come on the board, well, we might consider pushing. Is that true? If it's from second place, we will push. If it's from one of these other guys, probably not. Because if second place is a threat, you know, if we fold, there's a good chance that we might just lose our first place regardless. Although we are 4,000 points away, huh? If the point gap is over 4,000 points, then there's a lot more incentive for me to fold, because if, even if they are the only person in tenpai come exhaustive draw, they will not be able to overtake me from the tenpai payments. Either way, so here's the Riichi from last place. We're not going to push against them. So if we draw something dangerous, we're just going to be gone. Here, now we're free 10, but the 9 is safe, so we're just going to go ahead and drop it. If we could draw the south, it's still, we can still win. Do we drop the 6? I mean, it's safe against them, but it could also not be safe against one of these other guys. I don't really know, so I'm just gonna keep tenpai. I don't really think that any one of these guys is waiting on the 6. Okay, sweet. Looks like they got a blast. And we also got first place. That animation is really annoying. I should turn off animations. Alright, anyways. That's the end of that. We got first. And, I guess, see you next time. Yeah, amazing.